Cardinals have always been kind of an odd team to me. Felt like a couple years ago they had like a lot of pieces in place, but it's just like, is Kyler Murray really the guy to do it for? I think he.
Win a Super Bowl now.
But that's the thing is, like, you seem like he should be able to do it, but it's just like he can't.
As long as there is Call of Duty, Kyler Murray will not win a Super Bowl.
All right, I'm gonna open up the segment.
Go ahead.
Good job, host.
Get in a quick touch on NFL free agency. I'm just starting at the top. We're just gonna kind of go through it quick.
Yeah.
Josh Allen re-signed, but this is Buffalo's, so they agreed to terms on a new 6-year deal worth $330 million with $250 million guaranteed. So
Still
good
have 4
for
years
Josh.
left on the deal.
Yeah, good for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
They signed Josh Palmer, wide receiver. They signed Shakir to a 4-year extension worth up to $16.2 million, $60.2 with $32 million guaranteed. They signed Joey Bosa.
Saw that.
To 1 year, $12.6 million with $12 million guaranteed.
Yep.
They upgraded they got another defensive tackle, not upgraded, with Ogunjobi. He signed with them. DeMar Hamlin re-signed. So
Mr. Heart Murmur.
They did a ton on the defensive end.
I said it.
As far as I can. I mean, they signed 3 edges, a defensive tackle, linebacker, cornerback, 2 safeties, and a long snapper because, that's very important. So Bills have made some moves here. Miami signed Zach Wilson to a 1-year deal. They signed Alexander Madison to a 1-year deal. They signed Larry Borum. They signed James Daniels. They signed Liam Etchenberg. So they're getting a bunch of offensive linemen.
Nothing interesting necessarily. Yep. Yeah.
But they're boosting offensive linemen, new backup quarterback. New England, Joshua Dobbs agreed to a 2-year deal.
Mr. Forehead.
Yep. Austin Hooper re-signed with them. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Carlton Davis signed a 3-year deal with them. The Jets, kind of big one. Justin Fields signed a 2-year deal with them with $30 million fully guaranteed.
I mean, they're still going to draft quarterback. They have to.
I think so, but I do think this is a pretty decent place filler behind Rodgers. I think Fields is a better quarterback to fill into this position. With them, they're a young team, and I just think the dynamic between the team actually will work better with them.
Yeah. You can even wait.
Run the dang ball.
Well, the thing is, you can, if you don't like this quarterback class, I don't think this is necessarily the best one for sure. You got a placeholder there. Play this season, see where you land at.
Yep.
Maybe Fields does really well. Maybe you make a wild card if you have a really upward trajectory, or you wait for next year's quarterback class and draft them too.
Yep.
So,
Kenny Nwangu re-signed a 1-year deal.
Kenny.
Good old Iowa State guy there.
That's right.
Isaiah Oliver re-signed with them, so not a lot there. Good signing, I think, with Justin Fields. I think that's a good.
I think so too.
I think it's quarterback upgrade, to be perfectly honest.
I 100% agree.
Baltimore signed Cooper Rush to
Dallas.
Yep.
Yeah.
So good backup there. They signed DeAndre Hopkins, was the big deal. He signed a 1-year, $5 million contract. They re-signed Ronnie Stanley and Ben Cleveland, so they're holding their offensive line. But I think they did a nice job there getting
keep Stanley,
getting DeAndre Hopkins. I think that's a good addition to that team. That one's kind of old news as far as the Bengals with T. Higgins getting franchise tagged. Cody Ford re-signed. Not much there. Just some re-signings.
What about the Brownies?
Yep. So Browns they acquired Kenny Pickett. Interesting there with
tiny hands.
They exchanged Dorian Thompson-Robinson for him.
Okay.
And a 2025 5th-round pick. So we'll see what happens there. They re-signed Garrett to his 4-year extension.
I thought he wanted to be in a winning team with a chance at the Super Bowl.
Well, they went and got a Super Bowl quarterback. So Super Bowl winning quarterback.
That's true. Kenny didn't have a Super Bowl ring.
He took the last snap in the victory formation
He's
in the Super Bowl. So
-1 rushing yards.
I'm not going to say it's a good quarterback, but they got a quarterback for him. Pittsburgh signed Mason Rudolph. They signed
He's
Kenneth.
back there again,
Yep.
isn't he?
They signed
Miles Garrett going to play in the same division again.
Yeah, I know. They just smack his helmet again. Kenneth Gainwell signed a 1-year deal with them. Big one is DK Metcalf getting acquired there. Skoranek re-signed with them.
Yeah, DK got a new contract and everything.
Yep.
Seattle's
So
kind of
he's
unloading everything,
Yeah, I
honestly.
know.
Yeah.
He signed a 4-year, $132 million extension with Pittsburgh.
Sounds a lot like the Brandon Marshall deal to the Miami Dolphins years ago.
Yep. So whoever is going to be their quarterback, I'm assuming it's not going to be Mason Rudolph. Whoever is going to be their quarterback is got a pretty
Russ or Aaron.
got a pretty decent wide receiver core to jump into there. So
Yep.
they signed Darius Slay to a 1-year deal also. Texans. They acquired Christian Kirk. I think we touched on that one a little
Larry
bit.
Tunsil's the big one.
They
Trade him to Washington.
Yeah, they traded for Ed Ingram from the Vikings. I don't know why they traded Tunsil out, though, to be perfectly honest.
He's a
That one
five-time Pro Bowler.
doesn't make any sense to me. They already struggle with their offensive line. Why do you get rid of your best offensive lineman? Anyway, I don't know what's happening there. Nothing. They they acquired C.J. Gardner-Johnson from the Eagles.
Yep.
In exchange for offensive guard Kenyon Green. So they traded away 2 of their offensive linemen. Don't tell me why. That one doesn't make any sense to me. Colts, Daniel Jones went to the Colts. He signed a 1-year deal, $14 million. Khalil Herbert signed a 1-year deal. Bears wide receiver.
Running back
there. Charvarius Ward signed a 3-year deal with them. And Cameron Bynum agreed to a 4-year deal. So some decent back end play for the Colts. I think that's probably a good thing for them there. Jaguars, Nick Mullen signed a 2-year deal. Nobody else really of interest there.
Yeah.
So Tennessee, Brandon Allen, quarterback. I didn't know there was a quarterback named Brandon Allen in the league, to be perfectly honest. He signed a 1-year deal
Sounds
with them.
familiar. I don't know why, though.
Sounds white.
Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely white.
Van Jefferson signed a 1-year deal with them. Xavier Woods signed with the Titans also. So some name. So, Sebastian Joseph Day re-signed with them too. So that was, I think, kind of the one that was up in the air for them as far as the defensive line. Broncos re-signed Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, good backup.
Evan Ingram signed a 2-year deal with them.
Yep.
Dre Greenlaw signed a 3-year deal with them worth $35 million.
Safety is what I'm excited about. I had to work on it. I don't know. Something
Noah
Samoan.
Hufanga. I know the last name is
Right.
Hufanga.
It's like Mufasa.
Yeah, he signed a 3-year deal worth of $45. That is a good sign. I think that's
I'm
one
going
of
to
the.
predict something. I bet he gets trampled to death by wildebeest. That's how he dies.
I think they signed 2 of the best defensive guys out of San
I
Francisco.
think so, too.
Dre Greenlaw
You
and
didn't have to break the
Hufanga.
bank for it either
No.
to get them.
$20 million was guaranteed to Hufanga. I don't know what the deal was as far as guaranteed
Ingram wasn't
to
terrible for
Greenlaw.
guarantee. Yeah. I still want.
16.5 is guaranteed to Ingram.
Yeah, but you're not killing the bank to get these guys.
Greenlaw isn't. I don't know what's guaranteed to him yet.
But as far as the Broncos go, you still got $30 million in dead cap. You got to get rid of the Russ deal you had a couple years ago. Other than that, you're going to have so much cap space come next year, and you can still build with these draft picks you got this year. So I'm really happy with how they're doing
I
this
think
year.
they made some good moves there. I'm pretty impressed.
I'm good.
The Chiefs signed Gardner Minshew as a backup. I like it as a backup. They also re-signed Bailey Zappi. I don't know
You
why
can
they're
throw a football over the mountains.
I don't know why they're bolstering their backup quarterback room. Whatever.
Yeah.
I think Gardner Minshew is
you
a good
can.
backup, to be perfectly honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt re-signed with them. Elijah Mitchell signed a 1-year deal. Marquise Brown re-signed with them. Juju re-signed with them. Nick Bolton re-signed with them. Christian Fulton signed a 2-year deal with them. So I think they re-signed a lot of the guys that they weren't sure what was going to happen with them.
Yep.
The Raiders, another big one. They acquired Geno Smith in the trade with Seahawks.
Give him decent deal. Has he signed a deal yet?
He hasn't gotten.
Gino wants like $44 million per year.
Yeah, I know. I don't think they've
nuts.
gotten a deal. I bet the Raiders are trying to give him less, so there's some different talks going on there. I bet he lands somewhere in the range of like 30.
And they draft Shador.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They signed Raheem Mozart to a 1-year deal. They re-signed Max Crosby. We already touched on that one. Nobody else really knew. Chargers re-signed Taylor Heineke, old Bears quarterback there too. And then the big one for them is Najee Harris being signed with them on a 1-year deal. I think that's a good running back replacement.
Yep.
I like it. They re-signed Khalil Mack, so we kind of knew they were going to either take Bosa or Mack. I don't know why they decided to go with Mack. Whatever.
They're going to draft defensive edge rush first round. Yeah.
Yep. Well, they signed a couple more. I don't know the names, but they signed a couple defensive linemen.
Nothing else for depth.
No, another edge rusher, but nobody big name that I know of. So,
yep.
Dallas Cowboys are probably the funniest one because they're not doing anything and they need help. Miles Sanders agreed to a 1-year deal. Javonte Williams agreed to a 1-year deal. They just keep signing all these old running backs. And
took the Broncos' old running back.
Yeah, I don't.
Scattaboo to Denver.
Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah.
Paris Campbell signed a 1-year deal with them. It's just all 1-year deals. Robert Jones, Dante Fowler Jr. signed a 1-year deal. Peyton Turner signed a 1-year deal. It just I don't know what they're doing. They're just like signing everyone and hoping that someone sticks, I guess.
Mm-hmm. How many of these guys are going to get cut before the 53-man roster?
I would think a lot of them.
Yeah.
Kevontae Turpin re-signed a 3-year deal, so I mean at least they did something right and kept Turpin.
Kick returner.
Yeah. He's a speedster for sure. Giants re-signed Tommy DeVito, their best quarterback on the roster right now.
Far and away.
They re-signed Darius Slayton to a 3-year deal. Roy Robertson Harris signed a 2-year deal. He was good with the Bears. He was decent with Jacksonville. So that's not a bad defensive line sign there. Eagles obviously got Dorian Thompson-Robinson. They signed Barkley to a 2-year extension.
Yep.
They signed A.J. Dillon on a 1-year contract. Uche signed a 1-year deal with them. Zach Bond re-signed with them, so that was good for him. Commanders re-signed Marcus Mariota. KJ Osborne re-signed with them. Debo, obviously, they got in the trade.
Yep. They got Tunsil now, too.
Yep.
They're trying.
They're bolstering.
Their window's open.
Yeah, they're going for it now.
Yep.
Zach Ertz re-signed with them. They got Trent Scott is re-signing. They acquired Tunsil. They re-signed one of their edge rushers. Jacob Martin is signing a 1-year deal with them. They must be trying to bolster that defensive edge because they got 3 edge rushers that they agreed or signed with, and then 1 defensive tackle and 2 defensive linemen. So Javon Kinlaw would be the only one that I recognize out of all those names. So they're bolstering. So Bobby Wagner re-signed. I forgot about that. They're bolstering their defense with some different options there, I think, to just kind of see who sticks again. Just kind of going to that. Bears signed Durham Smythe. They got Jonah Jackson and Joe Tooney for nothing. Jonah Jackson signed a 1-year extension that guarantees $7 million, full $7 million guaranteed through 27. So he must have had 1 year left, and they extended him a year. They also got a center, Drew Dahlman. Odeyingbo, I think that was a pretty good signing, and then also Grady Jarrett out of Atlanta.
Yeah,
signed with them.
The interior defensive lineman.
I think that's a great signing. He already smack talks to the Packers, so he's already got it in him. I love it. I'm excited to watch him play. Lions got Tim Patrick re-signed with them.
Oh, yeah, old Bronco receiver.
Yep. Yeah. DJ Reed signed a free agent deal. Otherwise, Marcus Davenport re-signed a 1-year deal. The Packers, who have probably been the quietest ever.
Nothing.
Aaron Banks agreed to a 4-year deal. Nate Hobbs agreed to a 4-year deal. Isaiah McDuffie re-signed on a free agent deal. And Brandon McManus re-signed. That's the only thing that 4 moves.
Got your kicker.
And I think they were all basically on the team already. They just re-signed or
Yeah.
whatever. Aaron Jones re-signed with Vikings. Jordan Mason got acquired from the Niners. I don't know why the Niners traded him.
The Niners are the ones been the most devastated.
Yeah,
this
they're
year.
they're dumping everybody. I don't know if they just don't have the money or what.
They're looking ahead to the Purdy contract.
I'm guessing so. Maybe they're gonna dump some of their more expensive players or who they assume could be expensive. Like Jordan Mason doesn't make sense other than if you think you're gonna have to pay him next year. Yeah, I don't know what was left on his contract, but it's like, okay, if he's got a year left and he performed the way he did,
Keep him around.
yeah, but it's like, is he going to be too expensive then? So are they going to go to the draft and get another young running back to go behind?
They should get trade value out of him at least.
I guess so, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Will Freeze signed a 5-year deal with this is Minnesota.
Yep.
Ryan Kelly agreed to a 2-year. Javon Hargrave signed a 2-year. Jonathan Allen agreed to a 3-year. Byron Murphy re-signed on a 3-year. So they've made some decent moves that way.
Yeah.
Atlanta, nothing huge. Leonard Floyd signed a 1-year deal. So I think he was with the Rams.
Yeah,
last year,
I
as far as
can't believe
remember.
that they're keeping Cousins.
Yeah, they're
Paid
keeping
$10
him
million
as like
to him
a.
and $10 million to him.
Yeah, they're just keeping him as like a backup, basically. I don't know.
That's the most expensive backup.
Very
ever.
expensive backup. So I don't know why they're. I don't know if there just wasn't a market for him or what.
They want to try to get some trade value out of him, but I just saw this today. They want to get the team that's going to take most of the money. Who is going to do that?
No one's going to take that.
No one's going to do that.
I don't know. I think they're
Giants
stuck with
might.
him. Yeah, next year
Yeah.
they'll sign Rodgers for a year and then they'll get Cousins next year. Panthers re-signed Andy Dalton on a 2-year. They got Rico Dowell, signed a 1-year from the Cowboys. J.C. Horn agreed to terms on a 4-year extension.
That's a good
That's
good
a really
deal.
good deal for them.
Yep.
He's a good cornerback.
Yes, he is.
The Saints, Dante Pettis re-signed a 1-year deal. Juwan Johnson re-signed on a 3-year. Nobody else really of note with them. Buccaneers, Chris Godwin re-signed on a 3-year deal.
Yep. Gotta keep
With
him.
$44 million fully guaranteed. Sterling Shepard are signing on a 1-year deal. Golly, he's really fallen off. He only has $500,000 guaranteed on that contract. It's $2.5 million.
My contract with
$1-year deal.
$500,000, I'm okay with
Yeah,
that.
but-
Are you upset about it?
no,
I know, but it's like Sterling Shepard used to be such a big name. I mean, when he was at the
Yeah.
Giants, it was like everybody thought he was going to be the guy, and then now he's signing
T.
a
Higgins almost.
yeah,
kinda
he's just
guy,
signing
yeah.
a 1-year deal worth $2.25 million with only $500,000 guaranteed. It's just shocking to me for a wide receiver.
Yep.
Hassan Reddick signed a 1-year deal with
Yep.
them. I think that's a good signing. Levante David re-signed with them. Kendall Vildor signed a free agent deal with them. So they've got some pretty good help on the defensive side of things. Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett signed a 2-year deal. That's $8 million guaranteed on his.
Jacoby's
Zay
gonna be around till
Jones,
he's like 50.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's going to play for about as many teams as what's his face, the beard man,
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Zay Jones re-signed a 1-year deal with them. Josh Sweat signed a 4-year contract. I
Oh,
forgot about
yeah, I
him
forgot about
to
that
the Cardinals. So that'll be an interesting one. The Cardinals have always been kind of an odd team to me. Felt like a couple years ago they had like a lot of pieces in place, but it's just like, is Kyler Murray really the guy to do it for? I
Enough
think
to win
he.
a Super Bowl now.
But that's the thing
No.
is, like, you seem like he should be. He should be able to do it, but it's just like he can't.
As long as there is Call of Duty, Kyler Murray will not win a Super Bowl.
The Rams are returning Jimmy Garoppolo. They obviously re-signed Stafford. They got Devontae Adams signed to a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
I think that's a good fit for Stafford. I think that's going to be fun.
Yep.
Tutu Atwell is re-signed on a 1-year deal. So that could be a fun deal to see how they – it's like they replaced Kupp with Adams. Is he cheaper maybe?
Apparently, because Seattle signed Cup to a pretty decent deal.
less injury prone maybe because
Yeah.
Adams got a
I think
2-year contract worth
or
46
Cup
with
probably still
26.
has more in the tank than Vontae does.
Yes.
So 26 million is guaranteed to Adams on his 2-year deal, but it's worth up to 46 million. So I mean, it's not a cheap deal, but
Cheaper than probably Cooper's contract.
yeah, I guess
though.
so.
Yeah.
The Niners signed Mac Jones to a 2-year deal. That was weird to me. Why didn't the Patriots keep him? Like, did they? I don't understand that. Like, who do the Patriots have as a quarterback now?
Kid from Carolina.
Drake May.
Oh, Drake May. That's right. I was like, who was their quarterback?
Yeah, no,
I was so
Drake May,
confused.
yeah.
I
But-
think the Niners are threatening Purdy. Hey, we got a guy that looks just like
Yeah.
you. You better perform.
Kyle Hughes re-signed, which they should have. I think.
Yep, he's the best fullback.
Yeah,
in the
best
league.
fullback, but
the
also he's like
fullback in
The fullback.
he's like beloved by Niners fans.
Well,
so-
and here's the thing, real quick about Purdy. I want Purdy to get that sweet quarterback deal so he can be Iowa State sugar daddy, just like
Great.
Mahomes is for Texas Tech.
That'd be awesome.
I'm fine with that. So
yeah. Demarcus Robinson signed a 2-year deal with them. Luke Farrell signed a 3-year deal with them. Seattle, we kind of talked about that a little bit, but Sam Darnold signed the 3-year deal.
yeah, it's like 103 million overall. Like
105.
how much was guaranteed? Like
100.5 million deal with 55 million guaranteed.
How? Look at
And
that
37
1 year. Look at that 1 year for Darnold and how he got that contract. He's got his money. He's generationally
saying-
good to go.
worth it for him.
All
Not
I'm
worth it for
saying
the team.
is
Yeah.
Minnesota's, I can't think of his coach's name.
Kevin
right now.
O'Connell.
Thank you. He should get some sort of bonus for Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold. 1 year
Resurrected him.
resurrected them, and they go get these monster contracts. And
I think JG McCarthy's going to be pretty good.
yeah, I mean, it's just
All that knee
astounding.
holds up. Yep.
But Darnold is getting 37.5 million in 1 year, in year one. Sorry, so he's
How many
getting
overall
over
for the guarantee?
55. So he's getting over half of his contract guaranteed this year.
Wow.
It's insane.
good for his agent.
Yeah, I guess so. Cooper Kupp agreed to a 3-year, $45 million deal. It doesn't say if that's all guaranteed. It's a similar range of Devontae, except
One more
Devontae's
year.
was a 2-year. So
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe the guaranteed money is going to be higher. Marquise Valdez-Scantling signed a 1-year deal with them. DeMarcus Lawrence signed a 3-year deal worth up to $42 million.
Yep.
He's got $18 million guaranteed on his. So I mean,
Seattle is in a weird
they're a weird
position
spot.
right now. I mean, Darnold's not the guy of the future. Maybe he proves us wrong, and
Maybe.
Seattle makes it to the divisional.
It
round
just
of
seems
playoffs.
odd. Why do you trade DK for Cooper Kupp and Valdez Scantling? I don't know. It just doesn't, like, some of the wide receiver moves this year have been odd to me. It's like you're going
they don't have Tyler Lockett
sideways
anymore either.
No, I know. That's
Yeah.
why it's like they replaced Tyler Lockett with Valdez Scantling and replaced Cooper Kupp with DK with Cooper Kupp. But I don't think Cooper Kupp's the same replacement for a DK.
No.
So
DK
it's like-
is a physical freak.
Yeah, so it's like, are they expecting what's the guy from Ohio that's there? Ohio
Jackson
State.
Smith and
Jackson
Jigba?
Smith and Jigba.
Yeah.
Are they expecting him to be the DK guy? Because I don't know. It just
They're
seems
just going. It feels like they're just going with let's go with all slot receivers, like old school New
Something.
England Patriots, not
Yeah.
a true one.
just go run the field, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's kind of all the teams that have made some moves now. So it'll be interesting to see how things kind of finish out here with Rodgers and some
Right
of that,
now,
but-
I think best move so far for a team, you got to go with the Bears right now, with how little they've had to give up.
Yeah, with the linemen moves.
Yeah.
They basically have rebuilt everything that they were missing in without even getting to the drafts yet. So
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I like what they've done.
I like what the Broncos have done.
Yeah, I'm just confused by mostly quarterback moves and wide receiver moves so far across the league.
Well, next episode, maybe Aaron Rodgers will finally make up his dang mind about where he's
Something.
going to go play.
Because him and Russ are still up in the air.
Yep.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where those kind of fall.
Yep.
But-
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing I got to say is baseball starts on Wednesday for the Cubs and the Dodgers in Tokyo, so that'll be fun to get some baseball
Should
back
be a
in.
good time.
Call me when the draft starts. That's what I'm waiting for.
The baseball draft, that's
Major
middle of
League
the year.
Baseball- that's in
Yeah,
June.
No,
yeah, that's in
that's in
June.
June.
don't think I've ever paid attention to that in my life. So
No, we'll
All right.
have to do a draft preview show. That'll be fun.
oh,
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for anyone who tuned in, and we will see you all next time.
See ya.
Goodbye.